Aloha, Rich Alverson here. This is ICS211. And in this video, I'd like to get you going on Chapter 12 on generics. So let me share my screen. Let's see, before I go any further, I'd like to point out, if you go to the Laulima, if you go to resources, and there's a new link here, videos for challenge activities in labs. If you click on that, I am updating this video as I'm updating this spreadsheet as I make these videos. And so basically it's all of the challenge activities here. This is all the chapters for the semester. And all of the challenge activities in labs are listed in the middle. And on the right are links directly to the videos. Now, some of these videos are the same problem, but Python versions. So you should be able to, but it's exactly the same problem. So you should be able to figure stuff out from that. For example, this one here is so it explains the Fibonacci program with in Python. Let me find a better one. Calling a recursive. Well, anyway, so you can see that there's videos all the way down through here through all of the chapters, and what I'm going to be doing is filling in videos for the ones that aren't here. So today I'm going to work on generics, which is chapter 12. So there are not any videos for these. I haven't covered generics in any of the other classes that I've ever taught. So, and I'm wondering why I included in this class, but they're kind of interesting. So I'm going to go over those. All right. So if we start with the first chapter here, first section, it's basically lots of times you have methods or classes that are almost the same, but you have to make different versions because they operate on different types of variables. Well, with generics, you can define classes and so on, define lists, define an array list, methods that work on them. And it's independent of the type. And so when you define an instance of it, then you define the type at that time. See, so all right. So if we look at the first one here, and we're basically always dealing with the comparable compared to methods in these classes, and we have to override the definition of them to cover broader cases of that particular type. So for example, here we have an employee class. We have an employee class, and we want to be able to sort employees. So we have this class, and when we create instances of employees, we have these employees, and we want to be able to sort employees, but we want to have a more sophisticated sort. What we want to do is we want to include the department in the sorting of employees. When we want to sort employees, we don't want to just sort by last name, first name. We want to sort by department and then last name, first name. Let's say that's what we want to do. And so here, what we can do is we declare the class like this, and we say we're going to implement the comparable interface. And so we're overriding it here, and we're defining compared to like this. Well, first of all, we we compare the departments of the two employees. This is the employee that we're dealing with, and then this is the other employee. So I compare it to an instance of something that you're comparing it to. And first, it looks to see the department. If the comparing the department, comparing the departments returns when we're using the compare to method, when you compare departments, if it returns a non-zero value, that means one of them is bigger than the other, then that's what it returns. If the departments, if when comparing the department of the other employee, if it returns a 0, then you know that the departments are equal, and then you go on and you compare the last name and the first name. So that's what this does here. And this also overrides the toString to add the department number on there. And then, so this is how you'd use it. You're going to declare an array list of employee data called emplist, and then you're going to declare employee, and then this is for storing the information for one employee and so on. And then here's a loop where we read. This is like a menu thing. See, so we're able to read in employees, read in employees, and then we're able to sort the employees. And when we list out the employees, we see that they're sorted by department, first by department, and then by their last name, first name. All right, so when you're looking at these things, make sure you realize that there's, like here we're looking at the employee data class, which implements the comparable thing, does the overriding and everything, and then over here is the actual program that uses it. So make sure you see that. All right. So if we're this challenge activity, I'll just do one. So here, for example, we have this just sees if we understand how this works. And so we have a scanner where we have we define a constant, and we define an array list of string types called user elements. And then we read up a bunch of them, add them to user elements, and then we sort them, and then we print them out. So in this case, if we read an O and an S and a D, we would print out D first, and then we print out the O next, and then we print out the S at the S last, because it's going to print out in sorted order. And is that correct? Yes, it is. All right, so you can go through the rest of these. And here, name. So in this one, see, we have a name. You got to go up here and look and see. Here we're defining the name class, and we are overriding it with, we're going to look, minus, see, whatever comes back from the compare to, we're making it minus. So instead of sorting lowest to highest, it sorts highest to lowest. That's what this one is. Third one is you got to look at the class here, and here this is colors. And it's the same kind of thing. If it gets greater than, you return a minus. If it's less than, you return. So anyway, and that is, yeah, okay. So you should be able to do those. All right, so let's look at the next one here. Here we have generic methods. And so, methods may have identical behavior, differing only in data types. And so here we have, let's say we have this method here with triple min int. Okay, so you read in 3 integers. It takes 3 integers as parameters, and it returns the minimum one. So looks first, it sets the minimum when you go to the first one, and if the second one is less than the first one, then it sets equal to minimum value of the second one. If the third one is less than the minimum, so that's what that does. Pretty clear. And then we can do the same thing for characters. And so this is so we can define a generic method called item minimum. And and we define the type when we declare an instance of it. And so that's what this does here. And there's the 3 types. This is the type, and we're extending that. And so so here, you know, we're num1 is our integers, let1s, letters are lets, and str are strings. And triple min, and this is a method, so it's able to tell just by when we call it, the fact that we're passing in these integers, 3 integers, that's gonna so it'll so that's how it knows to you know, to treat them as integers. Let's see, min. Here's where we define them, and so when they're passed in, this is when it's determined that they are integers. All right, so so that's methods, and so down here we can let's look at this one. So we have a class called item choice. Okay, so integer I1, I2, and I3, and we're supposed to choose item. What does choose item do? Well, choose item comes in, and first we set the first item equal to choose item, and then we compare the second item with the first item, and if with this comparison comes back less than 0, then we know the second item is in fact smaller than the first item. And then so here we're trying to find the smallest one, and then this is the smallest one. Otherwise, it compares it to the third one, and if it's smaller, sets that one to this. Okay, so it returns the smallest one. So I'm going to say that it's going to return the smallest one of these, and it's going to be a 1 that it prints. That's what I think. Well, what do you know? Okay, this one. Choose item is set to item 1. If the second item is bigger than the first item, then that's set to choose item. If item 3 is bigger than what we thought was the biggest, then third one. So this is going to be the biggest one, whichever one we're talking about here. All right, so you should be able to do that one. Class generics. This is if you have some classes that are nearly identical, differing only in data types. And so we do the same sort of thing here, where we define the class type, and then here is where we define the type. When we create the instance of the new class, we define the type, and so here in this example, we have we're going to define a class triple item of integers, and and we're going to call them trients. And it is this here which defines them as integers. And this takes 3 arguments, which creates this thing. And and what this does is it looks like it finds and returns the smallest one. Okay, so it sets this one to that. If this one is smaller, that's the new min bound, returns the min bound. Okay, so that's what this does. It returns the smallest one. So here, let's see what this does. Right now it's choosing the largest one. All right, so let's start it up. And let's look at pair. And what pair does is when it's choosing, if the item 1 is bigger than item 2, then choose item is set to item 1. Otherwise, choose item is set to item 2. So it looks like that if item 1 is bigger than, okay, so it looks like it chooses the biggest one. Chooses the biggest one. That's what choose item does. That's what that little method does. So here we're doing this one. It's going to choose then it's going to print out choose the biggest one. So I say that it's going to print 26. Then it's going to print 22.1. Then it's going to print I, because I is bigger than G. G-H-I. I is bigger than G. Thanks. I. Okay. Enter. All right, is this right? All right. So you should be able to do the next one. Look over here, figure out what it does, updates it, makes it bigger, makes it smaller, whatever so you can do that. All right, let's do this 12.4 here. Okay. Map values using generic method. This is just an example, so you can go through this and see that. I'm not going to go through it. All right, here's the lab. All right, so basically we're just going to do stages. Okay, so given this main program, we're going to complete this program.java by implementing the following methods. Okay, so first of all, okay, so the methods are, we're going to input some integers, read them. We're going to read in 5 integers from the user, store them in an array list, and return it. Then we're going to input some doubles. We're going to read them. The user is going to type them in. We're going to store them in an array list of the double, and then we're going to return it. Words, we're going to read in some words from the user. Same thing. Print is going to take an array list as a parameter, and it's going to print them out with a space after each one, and a new line at the end. And then the last one, it's going to take the array list as a parameter, and it's going to figure out what the smallest one is alphanumerically, and the middle one alphanumerically, and the top one alphanumerically, the biggest one alphanumerically. And it's going to store them in another array, which only has 3 elements in it, those 3. And it's going to return that list: minimum, median, not average, but median, and maximum. All right. So we're going to use collections sort to sort this array list just before we pick out the lowest one, the middle one, the median one, and the last one. Okay, so if the input's this, it's going to do this. Display out the array, and then print out the lowest one, the middle one, the high one. And then if it reads in this, it's going to print out the array that it read in. That's going to print out the lowest one, the middle one, and the high one. And similarly with this, reads in the array. The lowest one is Fi is the lowest one, and then it's the middle one is, this is the second one. T, this is the third. This is the mid. Oh no, this is the middle one because always comes before T. And then this is the fourth one, and this is the fifth one. So that's why it's that. Anyway, so let's do this program here. Okay, okay, so here's the program down here. We define a scanner, and then we input a list of integers. We declare an array list of integers, and we call this method that we define up above here. See, look, we're going to define input integers. Here, and then we're going to define input doubles. These are methods. Input doubles, input words, print, and it doesn't return anything. That's why it says void there. And the last one is just get statistics. So we write code for all of these methods. It's a lot easier than it sounds. Okay, so the first thing we do is we declare an array list of integers because this thing is going to return some integers. It's going to return an array list of integers. It's going to read them up from the user return, store here. It's going to print it out. Then we're going to use this fancy get statistics program that we're going to write that returns an array that's got 3 elements in it: the lowest, the smallest, the middle, and the highest. It's going to store it there, and it's going to print that out. Then it's going to do the same thing for doubles. It's going to get some statistics of doubles, called double statistics, and then it's going to print them out. And then the same with words. That's it. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so the first one, read an array list of integers. So let's see. Let me put this here. So we declared the array list, and now we're typing code inside here. I'm going to say for. Well, first I have to declare the array list that I'm going to return. So I'm going to say array list of these are integers, integer, in capital INTGER, called list. Just call it list. That's going to equal a new array list of integers. We're just got to put that bracket, shift key. This semicolon, and then I'm going to do for int j. I'll do I equals 0. I is less than, no, always 5 integers, so we're going to go all the way up to 5, not including 5, I plus plus. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna I can do this in one line. List add. We're gonna add to the list because list is a array list, and that's a method that comes along with array list, and it's gonna be read in from the scanner the next integer. Okay, so that should read up all 5, then we're just going to return it. Okay. So that should do it for integers. We should, yeah, read them up and return it. Okay, so I think this should be the same for all of these. I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to paste it here. But here, these are double. So I'm going to copy this double. And I'm going to put array list of double. Is it a double? Double. There. Okay. And this one is a string. Copy. String. String. Next. Not line, just next, I think, yeah. That'll do the strings. And then we're gonna output the elements of the array list parameter. Oh, I gotta print it out. That's what I'm doing. So that is because we're printing. Oh yeah, printing. Okay. So we're gonna do for int I equals 0. I is less than 5. I could do list.size, but I think no, I just do this. I plus plus. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to system out print list. So that's what's coming in here. Get I. And then I guess they want me to put a space after that. And that should be that. And then after we're all done printing those 5 things, what you want to do is system out print line. Okay. So that's gonna print it out. And this last thing we're gonna do is gonna get out the statistics. So I guess I should declare an array called an array list of the type, whatever the type is, and it's going to be a stats. I'm going to call it stats, and that's going to be a new array list of the types. That. Okay. So I got this thing, and okay, so this thing comes in called list. Okay, so I guess just get to do this collections, sort list, and that sorts that bad boy. Okay, then I'm gonna say that the int, the lowest, no, the min. I'm gonna say the min index is equal to min index is equal to 0. Int the median index median index is equal to, well, 5 divided by 2, I guess, whatever that is. And then the top one is going to be int max index equals 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. It's just dumb. All right. And then I say that, I'm going to add into, I got to return this. I got to return an array list. So stats of, well, I guess I could do add stat add of list dot get parentheses min index. Yeah, better ways of doing this, but, and so that's going to get me the small one, the min one, and then it's going to get me this one. I'm going to just do undo this, copy this, paste, and then this, copy, and then this, paste. And then I can return stats. So I don't know. Let's see what happens when I input these things. I'm going to try inputting this. Copy. Paste. Oh, no, paste. So what, does it keep on going, or does it print, read in all 3 of them? Is there a loop? Oh no, first it does. Oh yeah, first it does integers and floats. Okay, so let's see what this does. What if, let's see, that would be on line 35. So let's go to line 35. See, this is debugging. Ooh, look at that silliness. Semicolon. Now let's put this. It didn't like the last one. What didn't it like about the last one? This is where we're reading in strings. That's not right. I'm not using the right, I'm not using, next, add scan next, right? List add 0 to 5, what is it? 0 to 5. 0 to 5, 0 to 5. And it's getting stuck on 62, then 35. 35, that's, ooh, this one. Wait a second, is this let's see. Let's see. I see. I'm going from 0 to 5, and there's actually only in the last one in these outputs here. The second time this method is used, it's only to print 3 out. So you can see first we print out the integers, and there's 5 integers in that array, but there's only 3 integers in this array. So instead here, we should be doing, when we're printing them out, which is here. No, I'm sorry. So here, we should be going to the top of the list, whatever the list is. So that's more like list size. Okay, because sometimes it's 5 and sometimes it's 3 when we print. Yeah, you got that? Okay, so now when we run this, now it looks right. 5, 1, 2. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I think I've taken you through chapter 12. And so I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.